Well, hello everyone. How are you? Fine, thank you. Today, we are continuing our post-New Year's clean-out of my heritage American whiskey stash. Mostly bourbons today. Last time, on Tuesday, we did all the MGPs, and there was a lot of them, and it's a little bit terrifying to think that I tickled the surface, maybe, of the number of MGP bottlings out there. Today we're doing everything else. All the other distilleries. I've got 5 bottles. Most of these, well, really these 3, are from the SharedPour random bottle sale that they do at the end of the year. And I had no idea I was buying these. These 2 in the ends were a friend clearing out his stash in order to move. So let's get these poured. What have I got? Oh, we're going to start with Pikesville, which I've already reviewed, but I'm going to review it again because I feel like, well, first of all, I have it around, but also Pikesville just feels like a good baseline, let's say, for what a premium American whiskey should be doing. Like, if you aren't at least as good and as good a value as Pikesville, what the heck are you doing? Get off the shelf. I've also got a Rebel Stave Finish Collection. Did not expect I would be getting a Rebel in at any point. I have got a Cluke, and no, I'm not going to call it by what they want me to call it. It is from now until the end of time, Cluke. This is a blended straight bourbon. There you go. I got a... this is another previously reviewed one. A Larceny. It is a single barrel for Bourbon Concierge at cask strength, and that's exciting. A little more, and finally, something that was much in demand a couple of years ago and is now like kind of just everywhere. It is 1792 from Barton, Foolproof. I had a little sip of this a couple of years ago, but I never really explored it in any detail. So that is what we're going to be doing today. All right, there is our 5. And we're going to start with Pikesville, which of course is the older version of Heaven Hills. Sorry. Rye mash bill. 6 years old, bottled at 55% alcohol by volume. It's been perfect ever since I initially tried it. And let us see if it is still perfect on the nose. America. It smells like America. Yeah. I mean, this is one of the things you get it blind. You're like, it's a bourbon. It smells very bourbony. You're getting some black pepper. You're getting a little bit of a mixed herb thing. Maybe some oregano, maybe some coriander in there. Even some cilantro. There's a little bit of like a floral touch. More than a touch of florals, actually. Yeah, but that's... So there's little accents in there that might give away that this is actually a rye. But on first impression, it just smells like delicious, delicious bourbony goodness. What am I getting? I am getting, those notes I just named. Lots of black pepper, florals, herbs. But also just like, it's a baklava. Let's go with that. Baklava with a drizzle of honey on top. Some autumn leaves on the sidewalk. That is a classic Heaven Hill note. I always get that. Little bit of dried cherry. Coffee cake. So cinnamony stuff. More baklava. Touch of sawdust. I mean, vanilla, obviously. There's a little bit of a street corn thing on this. Yeah, just a little, whiff of, toasted elote in the background. But really, we're on desserty stuff. A little bit of lane cake, maybe. Yeah, sort of a very bourbony, desserty leaning rye. I really adore Heaven Hill's. Well, Heaven Hill in general, but Heaven Hill's in particular, their barely legal rye recipe. I think it's better bourbon than their bourbons a lot of the time. On the palate. I said it as part of my intro, and I'm going to say it again. This is the baseline. This is what you should be. If you cannot beat this, for what is this on the shelf for these days? Like $60, maybe 70. And it's absolutely delicious. If you cannot beat this, don't even bother. Just pick up whatever you got and go home. Like, this is what you should. This is the qualifier. If you cannot beat this, you're gone. On the palate, behaves very much on the nose. Peppery, some fun florals, wildflowers, some blossoms. Light herbaceousness. Leaning oregano, maybe a little bit of parsley. But there is that cilantro note in there too, and I'm one of those people who gets this slightly floral soapy character in cilantro, but I kind of like it. So I have that gene. Oh, but then so much of the rest of this is just like a big old pile of cakes. You got your coffee cake, you got your lane cake, you got your baklava. You got a big old cup of strong coffee. You got some sweet tea going on, and a pile of leaves. Put a drizzle of honey on top of the pile of leaves too. Why not? I'm not really getting the corn thing. There's like a little fermentary bread thing, like a little bit of some proofing bread. And vanilla and sawdust, and like half a dried cherry. Just a terrific, not great, absolutely not great. We're not even kissing great. Just a terrific, very good American whiskey. That's what this is. Kind of hitting the center of the bullseye, and stylistically speaking. 2, 3, 4. I'm guessing 4.5 with this. Let's see. Yeah, we'll do 4.5. And move on to glass number 2, which is Rebel Stave Finish Collection, single barrel. This is from SharedPour Creators 2024. No indication of what staves went into this, but they are imparting flavor notes of caramel and honey. Now, I believe this is Lux Row's own distillate. It was distilled August 14th, 2018, which is kind of the year their distillery opened, so this is probably their own thing. I can't even read the barrel number, but I'll put it down below if you want. Now, Rebel is... I did not think I'd be having a bottle of this brand around, but here we are. I'll try to give it a go. Wheater, of course, formerly known as Rebel Yell, and they took off the L part because I guess they figured that the L part was the part that was getting people like me kind of narrowing their eyes a little bit. This is just like, like the guys who illegally tried to peace out of the United States after losing the election in order to protect chattel slavery. That's fine, but if they just weren't yelling. It was the yelling that made everyone mad. So here we go. Sorry. Rebel Stave Finish Collection, shared pour pick. Here we go. Oh, what is the proof on this? 55? Yeah, 110 proof, 55%. On the nose. Just, I mean, this smells like a cooperage. I mean, it just does. It's wood shavings, more wood. Jesus. Yeah, I'm sticking my nose into a pile of sawdust, and I don't hate it, honestly. There's just a heckload of wood on here. I mean, because this is Staves, and I'm guessing not for a huge, big old long time, I'm assuming once I add a little bit of water to this, those will blow off maybe a little bit, and we'll get to see more of what's underneath, but yeah, like sawdust, black pepper, barrel char, campfire ash. Is there some bourbon notes underneath there? Yeah, there's some overstewed black tea, Lipton's. Not nice black tea, just good old Lipton's. Certainly some vanilla, touch of creme brulee, but it's like creme brulee that's been covered in ash and sawdust. A little bit of my beloved frosted mini wheats. Because again, this is a wheated bourbon, so, you know, that's normal. I'm trying to get more out of this. I really am. But it is a big old nose full of wood. Cinnamon sticks. That's what I'm getting. That's about it. It's very woody on the palate. I mean, there's a certain kind of person out there who loves a good wood bomb, who really wants, like an attack by 2x4s and like overstewed Lipton's tea on the sides of their face and in their throat when they're drinking their bourbon. If that's you, you'll probably dig this more than I do. Ugh. There's things I like about this. There's a very nice arrival on my beloved frosted shredded wheat. Even a touch of florals going on there. Ooh, nice. Like, not quite lavender. It's the one that's like lavender, but not. Crap, whatever. Florals. Let's go with florals. A little touch of lemon peel. Some nice things going on in front. Like cinnamon tea. But then, like, as you go through the mid palate into the finish, the wood just comes out and swallows everything up and kind of throws everything off balance a little bit. I want to see what water does to this, because if water kind of pulls that back and puts everything into balance a little bit more, I might be on board with this. Vanilla. Oh. Vanilla. Campfire ash. Lots of sawdust. Wood. 2x4s. A little bit of chicory coffee. So I don't mean just chicory. I mean like coffee with a little bit of chicory thrown in. It's a Louisiana thing. Jesus. Every time I taste this, I feel like, maybe I'm being too unkind. Maybe I'm misjudging this. I just need a little bit more time with it. And then, like, that lasts for about a half a second, and then it just, wham, hits me, and I remember why I had some misgivings about this. Let's give it some water, and we'll see what happens. I mean, I know that Pikesville is still going to be good with water. This one I have no idea what's going to happen. I need one more. I don't know, y'all. Jesus. Okay. Let's move on. That just blew me up. Okay. Cluke. What Cluke is this? This Cluke is was the one approved June 30th, 2025. It's batch 12. What is this? It is a blend of stuff from Indiana, which is to say MGP, and Kentucky stuff. Combination of mash bills. So it's all bourbons, but a combination of mash bills up to 36% rye. And yeah, that's what this is. 58.7% alcohol. As you may have noticed, I don't think I mentioned it. We're just going up by strength here. Nothing more complicated than that. Let's see what Cluke smells like. Cluke has a less expressive nose than the rest of these. There's a lot of fermentary stuff, like some fermenting bread. Like if I was getting a little bit of like a fermenting bread thing on, I think it was the Pikesville. Like this is really throwing like I've just stepped into a bakery and it's 5:30 and there's stuff out fermenting right now. A little bit of white pepper. There's kind of a little bit of a fun, spicy stuff going on. Maybe some like lemon lime peel. Let's go with that. Little whisper of cinnamon something. Black tea, but it's not Lipton's. And again, when I say all this, the intensity on this is not very strong right now. It's like an Assam tea, but you're smelling it from across the room. It's something like that. Malty tea. Come on, give me something. More fermentary bread. Maybe there's some cinnamon rolls in there. Sure. That's what I'm getting from Cluke on the palate. Jesus. Okay, so if the Rebel was a hair bit unbalanced, but it was still like covering my palate pretty well. The finish stuck around, even if it was a little too unwieldy. It was like a friend that wouldn't leave the party, even though everyone else had gone. It still had some mouth presence to it. It still felt like a serious American whiskey. This is just, it hits the mouth, it's got a big old boom up there, and then nothing is happening back here. And even that big boom up front doesn't last very long. Hold on. I might need more of this. It's all up front. I don't know what's going on with these. There's no indication of age, but it does not taste old. Let's start with that. It just, the way it behaves in the palate, yeah, big old boom up front, nothing hitting my tonsils, nothing, heading on down my throat, into my lungs. It's all big old boom up front. It's not a bad boom. I'm getting it's probably more in balance than the Rebel, if I'm honest. You're getting some black pepper. You're getting some sweet tea. You're getting some a little tobacco-y elements, some black Cavendish, some Stove Virginias happening. Some cinnamony stuff, I guess. Cinnamon Toast Crunch, maybe. Let's go with that. That little like lemon lime peel thing, that's there. Lightly grainy. I'm not really getting the fermentary bread thing, but there's like a little bit of like a whole wheat bread kind of element going on here. Like, I'm just drinking this to kind of get a handle on what's going on, because the mouth length is relatively short and the finish just does not stick around. I mean, I do not remember what the price point on this is, but I'm going to tell you right now, this is too much money for what this is, for the flavor it is delivering. Maybe I'm wrong. I feel free to correct myself if this really shows up with water, but right now, I mean, in terms of the mouth presence, I mean, it's nice. It's not bad or not delicious in any way. But in terms of the mouth presence, in terms of the development, no, you can do better than this, y'all. And at this price point, I guarantee it. I'm sorry, Cluke. You know what? I'm being too mean to this because I haven't even given it any water. We'll see if water brings this out. There's a tobacco element on that, which is interesting because I wasn't really getting it on the others. I'll go one more squirt. I mean, if water magically improves this, really brings up the development and the mouth presence stuff, I mean, this could be a winner, but right now, it's not sticking around or having enough of an impact for me to really recommend it. Moving on. Larceny. Another wheater. Because Heaven Hill thought, geez, we got such a well-known, successful brand with Old Fitzgerald. What we need to do is start an entirely new brand which no one knows or cares about. And here we are. Larceny, private single barrel for Bourbon Concierge at barrel proof. 7 years old. I'm not going to name off the barrel number for you, but it is 61.8% alcohol by volume. Is that right? 61.6. I'm sorry. No, generally, I like Larceny. It's never wowed me, but it's in that kind of Heaven Hill range of consistently good. Okay. It smells very dark. I'm getting some overstewed Liptons, but also some like overstewed English breakfast tea, kind of like a half and half. It smells very dark. It smells geez, I'm sorry. I should be filling up this airspace with something, but okay, now I'm getting a little bit of mint, a few sprigs of fresh mint, but it's not talking to me that much. This feels very tight. More tea, a little bit of a coffee note as well. Well, like an espresso note. Oh, geez, come on. Talk to me. I have to tell something to the viewers about what this smells like. A few more sprigs of mint. There's a vague graininess to this. Maybe like some, a little bit of oatmeal happening somewhere in the room you're in. Black pepper. Like half a cinnamon stick. A little bit of like a nutmeggy thing. I mean, it smells a little bit like a sweet potato pie without the sweet potato part. Okay, yeah, there's like a burned pie crust thing, maybe. That's all I got. That's all I got, y'all. This is maybe it's the proof that's it's just not talking to me, but well, let's try it on the palate. Do you know what the difference is between the Cluke and this? Because in some ways the arrival is quite similar. They both have like really delicious, decadent, yummy arrivals that have a lot of wood on them. But the Larceny, this thing carries on through. This is hitting my tonsils. This is going on down, tickling the tops of my lungs. I'm enjoying that. The peppery element on this is scraping the backs of my mouth. And some of those, it's not a big old long finish, but it's sticking around. And that's, just structurally speaking, the big difference. This just has more oomph, more sauce, more presence on the palate. It's still, in terms of the flavors, the notes, it's still a little bit vague for my liking. It tastes very dark. Lipton's tea, but also some English breakfast tea, but also like a shot of espresso thrown in there for fun. Cinnamon. Let's go Cinnamon Toast Crunch again. I'm using that note a lot today. A little bit of ash, a little bit of like a dark tobacco, like a dark burley, like a nutty tobacco. One little sprig of mint. It's in there, but it's not really coming out. Some brown sugar elements. There is vanilla, but it's kind of in the background, behind the darkness. It's grainy, but it's hard to describe, to tell you what kind of grain. It's just like dark grains. Like I don't know. What's the darkest grain? Like ground up buckwheat groats or something like that. I don't know. Like seedy grain. So, I mean, there's that brown sugar thing and the vanilla thing. So, in some ways, this is very yummy, but it's balanced off by some austere elements to this profile, which I'm kind of into. And from a structural standpoint, this is sticking around. I am still tasting brown sugar and vanilla and like ground up seedy, grainy stuff. I'm still tasting it. It's still around. It's back here. It's back here, y'all. It's just a better bourbon. I mean, honestly, it's just a better bourbon than the Cluke here. And really, probably, unless the Rebel really shows up, probably better than this too. I'll give it a few squirts of water. See where it goes. What are they doing up there? Sorry, my neighbors are having a big old party. 4, 5, at least 5. And finally, Barton Foolproof. This is a pick, I think. Yeah, this is a total wine pick from Texas. It is barrel number 4248. Thank you for having a short barrel number, Texas and Barton. Yes, of course, Barton is the sister distillery to Buffalo Trace. They share a lot of things in common, and I remember, I'm old. Hi, I'm old. A decade and a half ago, finding out about very old Barton, the higher strength ones, and feeling like I'd won the lottery or something. They were just really good value. I do think the quality has dipped a hair bit in that time, but still, I love Barton. I love just the fact that it's a big old booze factory that no one cares about, that is constantly putting out stuff that's not great, but okay, consistently at all price levels. Again, $17.90 through $2 Foolproof. I have tasted this or other versions of this. I have not reviewed it before on the nose. Grainy, peppery. Ooh. I feel like someone was making porridge and wanted to add like a little bit of black pepper in there, but then like the top fell off and all the black pepper went right in there. That's what this smells like. It smells like super over-peppered porridge. Oh, there's some Lipton's tea creeping out in there. A mix of different cherries. Some dried cherry, but also some dessert cherry. Vanillas. Of course, some sawdusty elements, campfire ash. It's a very bourbon-y bourbon. Like, this is... like, your father-in-law who likes bourbons, he would knows this and be like, yeah, that's the stuff. This is the kind of thing he likes. Period. There's not a ton of detail or complexity to it. It's just a big old spicy, grainy bourbon. That's all I got. Sorry. On the palate. Oh, and as all of these are, it is 62.5% alcohol, which is pretty good on the palate. Oh, no, in some ways I can't help but compare this as well to the Cluke, because this also is pretty forward in the mouth. It's a lot more peppery. Very black pepper heavy. There's even a little bit of like a Szechuan numbing spice thing going on. But not a lot of mouth length. This is not hitting my lungs in the same way the Larceny was. However, it's sticking around up front. Like, this is just grabbing on. The pepper is holding on. The tannins, the overstewed tea is hanging on. But so is like the fun, delicious stuff. I am enjoying the Virginia burley flake element on it. Sorry, tobacco nerdy stuff. I'm just going to go with it. Virginia burley flake thing this is delivering. The intense peppery element on this. Brown sugar. Campfire with, some burned leaves. Coffee cake, again. Porridge. Lipton's tea. There's a lot of common notes on these, but the difference here is a lot of the differences are in terms of the presence, the way these things are acting on the palate, as opposed to the notes. It's very woody still. It's very spicy, but it's got some, and it's a little bit short in terms of where it's traveling in my torso, but it's got a lot of presence up here, and I'm appreciating that. I do like the tobacco-y element to this. It's fun. Yeah, in some ways it feels like a darker, grainier, better version of the Cluke. Leaning more in a Buffalo Tracy direction, if you like. I don't think it's going to win the flight, but this is okay. Not too bad. Let's add some water to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's the minimum. Sticking with me? Thanks. I'll go a little bit more. I'll go like half a squirt more. All right. Moving on. Once again, the point of my adding water is not because I'm a wimp and I can't take these things at full strength. I can. I've inhaled some 80+% rum before and rather enjoyed it. But what I'm trying to do is to put these things under pressure to see how they're going to react to pressure, which tells me something about the quality of the spirit and how it's going to develop as we get deeper into the bottle. All right, let's go back through these one more time with some water in them. Back to the Pikesville. On the nose. Oh, it's so pretty. There's a little bit of like a lemon zest thing coming out now, almost like a candied lemon zest, maybe like a ground up some lemon bars, florals. I mean, we're still kind of in the same territory as where we were at before. It just smells a little bit brighter, just a little hair. But overall, just a fabulously balanced American whiskey. Is it a rye? Is it a bourbon? It doesn't matter. Like, it smells lovely. Yeah, here we go. On the palate. This is fabulous. I mean, it gets more austere with water. Let's start with that. Some of the desserty elements, they don't disappear. They pull back a little bit in order to let the florals and the herbs and the citrusy stuff kind of come forward a little bit. Good Lord, it's just so balanced. I mean, again, I'm not going to score this into the stratosphere. I can't. It's not that good, but it's a delight to have around. This is the kind of thing where if I were doing a tasting of American whiskeys, this would be a great one to start off with because it's good. No debates, please. This is very, very good. But it's not... we're not in the stratosphere. We're not, scratching away at the heavens with this. It's just a good, solid whiskey. The notes are lovely. I don't think it picks anything up from new water. It just changes a little bit. We're getting a little bit more austere and herbal floral, a little bit less desserty. I think it's, same difference. I think this is an 85. I can't remember what I scored it before. I think I scored a little bit higher before, but this is an 85. And I'm kind of happy to have it around. I'm happy to have this this remains of a bottle in my collection. 85 points for Pikesville. So now the question is, can the rest of these beat that? Because if they can't beat that, they don't deserve to exist, in my humble opinion. All right, moving on to the Rebel Stave collection. Stave finish collection, sorry. I mean, it still smells like I'm just like, trying to eat a coffee cake in the middle of a cooperage, and the sawdust keeps blowing into my face. Jesus. It's so woody and so obnoxious, and it's not bad. It just feels like it's going to a palate. It's just aiming for a palate that is not me. Like someone out there really adores having, like a big old fist made of sawdust pummeling their face. And for that person, you're going to love this. Because that's what this smells like, for the most part. On the palate, ooh. Okay. With water, this comes together a little bit. I was really hoping the tannins and the pepper and the sawdust and the woody stuff would pull back from the back end of this. That isn't really what's happened. It's what's happened is the elements in the front end have kind of reasserted themselves. Oh, yeah. That little frosted shredded wheat element, the cinnamon toast crunch element, the tea elements, the sweet tea elements, those are reasserting themselves. They're hanging on into the finish. So it's like the woody thing in this really wants to hang on and keep power, but the yummy desserty stuff, which I kind of prefer, is saying, "Hang on, we're gonna share this stage. You're not gonna run away with this one," and I'm happy about that. Yeah, now with water, I'm guessing with more time with this bottle being open, like all those other elements are sticking around into the finish. And that's a very, very good thing. Is this as good as the Pikesville? Hold on. Nope, it's not as good as the Pikesville. But we're not that far behind. I will give this an 84 plus. Because it does get better with water. And there we go. 84 plus for the Rebel Not Yelling Stay Finish Collection pick. On to the Cluke, which for me was kind of losing this flight. But it may surprise me. We're going to see what happens. I mean, yeah. No real change in the nose. It just smells like bourbon. I mean, sorry. I do like the little touches of nutshell and herbaceousness on the nose of this. But it's so just like, I'm a bourbon. Hi. And I'm not super excited about that. On the palate. Mm-mm. 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 It's a little bit more of like a musty leaves thing with water, and that's fine. But the problem with this was never the notes. The notes are fine. They're bourbony notes. There's a little bit of... they're leaning in a little bit more of a brighter, more herbal direction. And they're fine, but geez, like... it's all happening in the front of the palate, and it does not stick around. I mean... sorry, Cluke, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I cannot, in all, honesty and doing my job as a consumer advocate, recommend that someone go out and buy you. You're like, the fact that someone could go out and spend less money and get like Old Granddad 114, which is just it's a better bourbon, or I think Rare Breed has taken a price hike in some places, but go buy Rare Breed for God's sake. Like, this is so... yes, I like the front end of this. It's fine. There's nothing wrong with it, but... No. Sorry, no. I'm going to have to give batch 12 of Cluke an 83. 83 points. It's good, but it's just barely good. And for the price, man, you can do better. Moving on. Ah, yes, Larceny. I want to see what water does to this. All right. On the nose. Please be more open. Nope, it's not more open. It just smells like dark and vaguely grainy and spicy. Nope. Same nose. Exactly the same as where it was before. On the palate. It's good. It's dark and it's tough to pull stuff out of this. It really is. It's like peppery, like some coffee stuff, some tea stuff, peppery stuff, but structurally and in terms of mouth presence, everything is there. And it's got that little bit of a minty thing. I think this is good. I mean, it's definitely better than the Cluke. Is it better than the Rebel? Is it better than Pikesville? Let's try the Pikesville. I like the Pikesville better. For me. For my palate. But... if you're willing to tolerate the darkness, the more kind of, dark, grainy, grody coffee profile of the Larceny, I don't think this is worse. I think this is about on par. I will also give this an 85. So we now have co-winners of this video. Larceny, this particular pick, gets an 85 points score. And now, the 1792. I can't hate this. I really can't hate this. It's grainy, it's porridgey, it's peppery. And now, with a little bit of water, the vanilla's creeping through. As if you added a few drops of vanilla essence to your sweet tea and then, just dump the whole thing into a batch of peppery porridge. And that's kind of what this smells like. Plus some cinnamon. Some cinnamon sticks. Sure, why not? I mean, yeah, it's maybe a little bit more open from where it was before. It's better than where it was before. But not, in terms of the notes involved, not essentially different. On the palate. Oh, it's a spicy boy. I do like that little, mix of black pepper and Sichuan numbing spice. That's fun. Oh, there's some, some cinnamon stuff in, coffee cakey stuff in here. Yeah, in general, this just tastes like a more outgoing version, like a more decadent version of what I had before. So yeah, a little bit of improvement with water. Is it better than the Pikesville, though? Let's see. I have now finished my Pikesville. This might be better. This might be better. By a bit. By a hair. It's a little bit more grippy. There's a little bit more going on, though. So yeah, let's give this an 85 plus. 85 plus for the 1792 Foolproof pick. And yeah, that is your video. So who are the winners? It's a really close grouping, actually. In last place, and I don't hate it, I'm just disappointed. Cluke. Batch 12. It's just it's so basic. I mean, it's just bourbon-y bourbon. That's all this is. It's got a nice yummy punch in the front, and it just does not impress me in terms of how it behaves on the rest of the palate. So 83 points. And then the Rebel. 84 plus. I I have my issues with the branding of this, but it's fine. Especially if you add water, I think it gets better. 84 plus. Tied for second, Pikesville and the Larceny Barrel Proof. The Pikesville is just, it's not amazeballs by any means, but you can kind of buy it everywhere and it's delightful. The Larceny, much darker, much kind of like, you kind of like have to spend some more time with it to get the deliciousness out of it. But yeah, also an 85. And here's your winner, 1792 Foolproof. You know, the total wine pick. 85 plus. And that is the video. Thank you for watching, and cheers.